I remember, I think, if I'm not wrong, I was the first dedicated sales person in Skillowit, right? Uh,
Yeah,
and now when I met you after like 5 years, you told me that you have a 50 salespeople, and I was really
40
happy.
and up to
I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So how do you do
yeah,
that? Like, I think that is कैसा था ये journey? How do you scale things? And as you mentioned, pehle I want 10 customers, then I want 50,000, and this is one of the thing I think people kind of मतलब वो when they build something they want results very quickly, but what you mentioned,
hmm.
scale होने के लिए बहुत time लगता है. So how do these things work? How do you scale a business?
Yeah, again, like depends on business, यार कि some business are viral, like OpenAI जब launch हुआ था नवंबर में, I was reading somewhere. So first they got 1 million customers in first 5 days. In next 1 or 2 months they got 100 million customers. Now they have almost 700 million customers, like user basically.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a different virality, like Facebook or itself. But most of the business that you see, it takes a lot of hard work to actually bring customers who pay you and then come uh, come to your platform and then pay you. See, like as we grew, like we understood that we have to grow continuously, and that's how we added headcount. Where the headcount to add करना was more of a necessity. Wherever we thought कि अच्छा ठीक है अब ये grow कर रहा है, and then we have to add headcount, then we added. And yeah, like I think based on requirement, you add headcount. Obviously, you want to have as small a headcount as possible at the end of the day in a company. Why? Because you want to run an operationally efficient company. But yeah, like it's more function of how much business you want to bring, and then yeah, and then how much output you want to get from set of people that you have. पुष्पक
कैसे हो? How are you?
बढ़िया बढ़िया पुष्पक, तुम बताओ क्या हाल है,
यार
क्या
आई
सब?
मीन चल रहा है, बट आई वाज जस्ट मतलब थिंकिंग कि आप अभी तक यू आर इन अ कॉल, राइट? एंड इट्स 9:30, तो आप लाइक कितना बजे तक काम करते हो? आपके वर्किंग आवर्स क्या है वैसे?
यार कि मतलब ऑफिस अराउंड, क्योंकि हमारे मैक्सिमम यूजर्स जो है दे आर लाइक काइंड ऑफ इंडियन सब कॉन्टिनेंट, अफ्रीका और नॉर्थ
हम्म.
अमेरिका के साइड में. सो दैट्स व्हाई थोड़ा शिफ्ट इज मोर लाइक 11 बजे तक चल जाता है कभी कभी. और
ओके,
थोड़ा
ओके.
रात में कभी कभी और डिले हो जाता है क्योंकि नाइट शिफ्ट चलता है, बिकॉज इट्स 24
हम्म.
बाई 7 ऑपरेशन दैट वी रन. तो उसके
ओके.
कारण तो
आई थॉट कि
करना
यू
पड़ता है.
स्टार्ट इन द मॉर्निंग एंड अभी भी आपका काम ही चल रहा है, सो आई वाज जस्ट वंडरिंग हाउ डू यू गेट दिस
नहीं
मोटिवेशन
हम
एंड ऑल.
यार मॉर्निंग में जनरली काम चलता है, बट मोस्टली ऑन स्लैक मैसेजेस होते हैं, नोटिफिकेशन आते रहते हैं.
या.
ऑफिस आने
आपका
का काम 12 बजे.
cool. Yeah, matlab I remember whenever, like, I think we met last like couple of weeks back in HSR, and at that time I asked you if you have like time for yourself, and उस time पे भी आपने बताया कि you don't have enough time. And I remember when like I was working with Kilowit, right? Like I think it's been almost 5 years now. So उस time पे भी you were
Mhm.
super busy. So how do you like? मतलब it's not. Don't you get tired, or like what keeps you going? Matlab, itna how do you manage all these things?
I think yeah, if you love something, you don't care if you're getting time for yourself or not. But I tend to take out almost every alternate day for 1 hour.
Acha.
I like go for Sunday ride, sometimes bike ride, or
Mm-hmm.
go travel to trekking and all. So I do that. But like because work is something that is inherent, like that drives, because I love what I'm doing, building Codingal. I think
Yeah.
that drives. I'm working as working because at the end, like जब आप ऑफिस में आते हो तो there's a vibe altogether. There are people, there are problems to solve every single day. There are different problems to solve every single day. So you just get into it and then you do it. You don't think of कि आपके पास time है कि नहीं. And in
Mm-hmm.
between, you take out time for your friends, family.
Yeah.
I think that's a part and parcel.
Yeah. I think it also keeps you occupied, I don't know, like what happens with me is if I'm not busy enough, then I would kind of get into the head and I start overthinking things. So I think it's that does that help? Like suppose if you have a lot of time and you're not working, so do you enjoy that, or you feel like I need to work too?
uh, I don't think so. जब नहीं होता है तो obviously I read books, different kinds of books. uh, जब time मिलता है तो it's 6-year-old son is there, so I play with him. And yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think like that because ऐसे भी काम में daily almost 12 to 14 hours, like online, offline, when you come to office. 13, 14 hours है, then you have rest 10 hours. अब उसके बाद 10 hours में आप 7 घंटे सोते हो, टाइम आप अपने लिए टाइम निकालते हो, अपने
Yeah.
फैमिली के टाइम निकालते हो, तो फ्रेंड्स के टाइम निकालते हो. एंड आई थिंक दैट्स हाउ द होल टाइम इज डिवाइडेड. और अगेन एज अ सेड कि अब ऐसा फील नहीं होता है कि टाइम नहीं है. देयर इज ऑलवेज टाइम. अगर व्हाट आई बिलीव, लाइक पर्सनली, तो मुझे लगता है कि आप किसी चीज के भी टाइम निकालो, यू विल टाइम एंड यू डू इट. अर्लियर पहले मैं बिलीव करता था, लाइक इफ यू आस्क मी 2-3 साल पहले कि
Mm-hmm.
अगर ऐसा कुछ करना है तो इट ऑलवेज यूज टू फील लाइक कि क्राइम कर रहा हूँ, कि ऑफिस छोड़ के कहीं जाना या टाइम
Yeah. Yeah.
निकालना, छुट्टी पे जाना. इट फील लाइक फेल्ट लाइक दैट. बट अभी मुझे लगता है कि नाउ विथ मेच्योरिटी आई थिंक यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि ये भी इम्पोर्टेंट है थोड़ा.
Yeah.
मतलब इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. मैं ऑफिस के बीच में भी कभी कभी हाफ एन आवर के लिए अगर मुझे लगता है कि इट्स गेटिंग ओवर द हेड, आई जस्ट गो एंड सिट
Mm-hmm.
इन ईरानी चाय. तो
Yeah.
वहां जाके
Yeah.
बैठ जाता हूँ, आधा 1 घंटे बैठ के वहां बन मस्का चाय खा रहा हूँ. आई डू दैट.
Mm-hmm.
मतलब हर हफ्ते 2 हफ्ते में 1-2 बार कर ही लेता हूँ. जस्ट
Yeah. Yeah.
रिलीव, बिकॉज इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट एट द एंड ऑफ डे. जिस तरह काम है हमारा, पूरे टाइम ही हसल रहते हैं, पूरे टाइम ही
That's
कुछ ना
true.
कुछ फटा ही रहता है, कुछ ना कुछ ब्रेक ही हुआ रहता है. You have to continue doing that.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Uh, I wanted to go back to the childhood. So, like for me, I've grew up in a Marathi household, and like if you know typical Marathi families, my parents wanted me to go for like maybe government jobs. If I asked them, I want to make money, I want to become rich. What should I do? They would just tell me you have to become a IAS officer or do IIT, IIM, right? Something like that. But
Mhm.
so I wanted to know, you come from a different background, like what was your childhood, and do you think your any childhood experiences kind of shaped you for the, because nobody encouraged me to pursue entrepreneurship, right? So that I don't have that kind of spirit or whatever you say. What was it for you growing up?
See, I was born in a business family, like a business family in terms of like my have multiple shops, him, his
Mm-hmm.
brothers, and then my parents followed the suit that he had shops and they used to run the shops. I used to go
Yeah.
there, spend 1 or 2 hours every day, give break to my uncle, my father. So coming into business was somewhere linked to that because nobody wanted, frankly, like in our family to, like, because they have done that business and there's a lot of problems, like shops, there are a lot of issues
Yeah.
are there. You don't grow beyond certain point. And my father actually take up job and then have a settled life. And that's why, like, well, I think he never explicitly told that, but no one told us to sit in shop basically. So they said कि हाँ ठीक है तो पढ़ाई करो and then job मिलेगा and then you get settled. I don't think so कि that shaped me, but in say the attitude that I have is shaped more by my grandfather.
Okay.
My working man, I think he built like a good empire for him. See, like it all went down while I was growing up. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously, like people said, he used to have a lot of money, and my family had a luxurious
Mm-hmm.
life. But while growing up, I we didn't see those things. And then I think that then job seems to be more viable option because there's a
Yeah.
the end of the month you have a fixed money coming into your bank account, and then obviously it's more, I would. And that's how I started my journey also post my college. So got in Reliance Power and then worked there for 6 years. But yeah, while in college, I think, and while working, I realized, ki, okay, this is something that I have to go out and do something, because it's more like you have one life, you have to try
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
you have to do something different than other people are doing. And I think that is how it, I think that is how I jumped into entrepreneurship. There was
Mhm.
nothing that was shaped by my childhood or anything. I think it was more of a, I would say, leap of faith that you take, that
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
this is that I should try. I didn't know that I would be here like 10 years online when I left the job. 2016 I
Mhm.
left. I didn't know like 10 years online I'll be here building Codingal. But yeah, it was a leap of faith, I would say. And yeah, and I think, yeah, that is how there was nothing
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
uh, nothing I would say कि during childhood anything shaped or anyone
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Like
ऐसा
I
ज़रूरी
did
नहीं
tell
है
my
कि सब
father
कुछ
also about this.
हुँ, हुँ, हुँ।
Even when I left my job
ओह!
and came to Pune for the first time, I nobody knew about that. तो वो तो
ओह!
एक दो
ओके।
साल बाद स्ट्रगल के बाद पीपल यूज टू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग कि अच्छा कुछ कर रहा होगा, कर रहा है, एंड देन
हुँ,
दे
हुँ, हुँ,
स्टार्ट
हुँ।
नोइंग कि अरे कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, कुछ नहीं कर रहा है, ये तो भटक रहा है लिटरली, कुछ ही नहीं कर रहा है, state. And then Skilloweight was born, my previous
हुँ, हुँ,
company,
हुँ।
and then obviously like
Yeah,
it was going, it was doing well at that point of time. Then they started realizing कि हाँ ठीक है, ये कुछ अलग ही कर रहा है, कुछ business ही कर रहा है, तो I think that was it. But obviously he never liked, like my father never liked me leaving job,
हुँ,
getting
हुँ,
into
हुँ।
entrepreneurship or business. अब now ये settled कि अब तो ठीक है, अब
Yeah,
घर में पैसा आ रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है, सब खा पी रहे घूम रहे हैं, तो कोई टेंशन नहीं है।
yeah, yeah। मतलब अब तो आप ही कितने लोगों को जॉब दे रहे हो, सो अब और क्या चाहिए? अ, so
I
I
think yeah,
remember
that is a phase.
yeah, I remember you started Skillowit like उसके पहले you were working in Tata Power, right? Sorry, Reliance Power, as you
Reliance,
mentioned. Yeah.
uh,
So, and you just mentioned that you didn't even tell your father or parents about this. And if I'm not wrong, I think you were married as well at that time, right? When you started Skillowit,
yes, yes, yes,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So, like, it's a big risk, right? Like, you are leaving your
Hmm.
job and, like, I don't know, maybe you were in your early 30s. I'm not sure exactly, but I think you were in
Yeah,
30s.
yeah, early 30s,
Yeah.
early 30s.
And उस टाइम पे ऐसा डिसीजन लेना while you are married as well and not telling parents, so what led you, मतलब इतना बड़ा डिसीजन लेना, like because if someone wants to do this today, like start a like leave corporate job, like do we need lot of savings, and it's not only about that as well, but what kind of mindset I think people need to come up with, and what was your story as well?
Uh, See, when I left my job, obviously, like when I left my job, my boss said, "Ki, why are you going, leaving your job? Just go, and then agar 6 months में if it doesn't work, come back. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like it will be open for you." And obviously, I was grateful that my boss said that. But I did have to do something. You have to just jump the ship. You cannot have both the legs like in different boats. Then I realized that. But at the same time, I think I had saved good enough money that I thought in last 6 years that I would sustain at least for 1 or 2 years. I will not have any. Frankly, I didn't have any plan. I just came to
Mm-hmm.
Pune, and I my friend was starting up, and then he said, "He up, so why not you come and then do something?" And we started doing work in the next 6 7 months, and then obviously like then I started doing job. I went to Mumbai. I worked for schools. I started teaching school kids in
Yeah.
Mumbai, designing curriculum. Yeah, I think there was safety net of savings, I would say. But frankly, if I have to advise someone today to do it, I have. I was in a very small town, like tier three, tier four city, Singrauli in Madhya Pradesh. So I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any exposure. If I would have been city like Pune, Bangalore, Mumbai, tier one, or Hyderabad for that sense, or some big city, I would have tried something parallel while learning about it. But there in that small city, or I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any knowledge. I had to come out of it to actually.
True.
So that also was a push that okay, if I don't come out of it, I would never be able to actually know what is there on the other side. But if someone wants to do it right now, frankly, like talked to many people. Many people come to
Mm-hmm.
me. I would never say like advise to just leave the job. Of course, if they have good savings and then they
Yeah.
want to leave the job, they can just do it, something parallelly while building a kind of basic business. If they see that there is something in it, then they can jump on it and then obviously go full time into it. Right now, like if you're working 8 to 9 hours in your job, taking out 2 3 hours for yourself, 3 4 hours if you are young, obviously if you're married also, but then you can take three
Mm-hmm.
four hours and it's more than enough to build a business, side hustle. And once you see attraction, I think just jump the gun and then go do and build it a massive business. Because most of the times I've seen like people start it off leaving everything, and then and they're not getting funds, they're not getting customers, the
Yeah.
idea is good,
Mm-hmm.
not good enough, because you have to do that. Like because at the end, entrepreneurship is a boring thing. At the end of the day, you have to build
Yeah. Yeah.
do the same thing day in day out. I've been doing the same thing 10 years. Like in the last 10 years, doing the same thing. Almost every day
Yeah.
I come
Yeah.
solve customer issues. Like there's a target, you do sales. It's a boring thing,
Yeah.
and people should know if they will be able to do that boring thing or not. Again, like for me, the condition was different. I think for people, if they are in big cities, I think for them, the ideal condition would be to actually do working somewhere and parallelly build something around it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that's a great advice. And if you're starting something like, if and especially if you leave the job, or even if you don't, like, when someone starts something, they are like very excited to start it, right? That rush you have, you're starting something new, the excitement and all. But then, as you mentioned, it's like actually boring, entrepreneurship or doing things, same thing again and again. So don't you like felt like quitting sometime in those 2 years, like after you left your job? And how to, like, what kept you going at the same time? Yeah, what would you advise people to maybe not quit and do boring stuff every day?
Yeah, yeah. I think I some moments of low where I thought, yeah, I'll quit, I'll go back corporate and then do job. But somehow, like I don't think so. Ki it was have been easy. Um, but I again like because sometimes what happens, there are small wins that you see, and
Mm-hmm.
those small wins give you hope that okay, this can be something that can be big. And I think that what kept me going, because I was in a segment like when before this also, when coding and robotics for school kids. So I saw like the kind of learning kids were getting, the kind of impact get, and then we were obviously expanding. So though the still there was some movement there, and then obviously it
Mm-hmm.
gave hope that oh, obviously like it is going to build, and the market was obviously big. Market was big, and
Yeah.
obviously that helped me push it further. And I think that was the only thing. My batchmates from college, they were all over the world, like earning maybe
Mm-hmm.
like lakhs and crores of rupees in salary, still struggling to make even maybe like few thousands in a month. It was not so good, but yeah, like again, like somehow I posed, and then obviously things fell in line along the way. I would say, see, like whenever you do something, obviously
Mm-hmm.
you work hard. Like people work hard, but sometimes to uh, look to fall in place for you, for things to fall in place. And I think somehow it worked. And then obviously, uh, thankfully, I'm in a better place right now than I was maybe 7 8 years before.
Mm-hmm. I think you should like, maybe you had a really strong reason and strong purpose, as you mentioned about, and also a big market, and you started seeing the results that kind of maybe kept you going and not give up.
Yes, of course.
Cool. Again, like one of the question I wanted to ask you is, you're from IIT as well, and when you started Kilowatt, it was tagline was a IIT IM initiative, right? And lot of Indian
Hmm.
startup I see are started by IITians or people from BIDS. Uh, why do you think? Do you
Hmm.
think is it easy for people who come from IIT to start companies or raise fund just because they are from IIT, or even other people from other colleges can do it as well?
Hmm. Yeah, I have heard this multiple times, but frankly, I was not able to raise fund for my first startup. I raised it. I was able to raise it, but in my third, fourth year. Obviously, I didn't
Hmm.
try it before because, frankly, I didn't know how to raise fund,
Yeah.
and I wanted to run it as a bootstrap company. So it's a choice. But like, if you see business, I don't know, like Nika founders are there, or
Hmm.
even Mama founders are there. They're not from IIT, if I'm correct. Obviously, like they're smaller companies. HSR, if you move around, there are smaller companies as well. They're not from
Yeah.
IITs, but or IIMs, but they manage to raise funds. I think raising fund is, and I have my back who are trying to raise funds, but still they are not able to raise funds, even if they have
Hmm.
a background. It is not like that. I would say like how the market is, how your product is. See, a pedigree gives you a head start. Obviously, like people would give it a chance that okay, come and present,
Hmm.
but guarantee that you'll get funds. It never happens. And most of the people, if you see, like people say, like whenever they raise funds, we actually we see all the lights or glitters around it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't hear the failure stories. That's why we say you all the IIT IIMs get funded like startups, but it is not the story. Like I would say they started by IIT IITians
Hmm.
or IIM graduates. I don't think so. They get funded. We where they get funded, and then we say ki, okay, only they are getting funded, but I don't think so that's true. At the same time, I would say, see, when you come from IIT, like most of the people who are sitting funds are from that college or from that pedigree as well. So it's more
Hmm.
like there's a community driven who works around it, and sometimes it helps. I would not say it doesn't help, but sometimes it helps because there's a community. There are already people who are into that position that can help you out, and it helps.
Yeah.
But saying all IITians, all IIM graduate startups get funded is wrong because it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
Telling from my personal experience, telling from a lot of my friends who are who have not been able to raise funds because obviously like it is driven by market, how
Yeah.
market drives it, given what is the traction, and then obviously there's a like term called uh, founder market fit, kind of like if founder
Hmm.
is fit for the market or not. If someone says कि, okay, they are not a fit क्योंकि ये भी होता है ना कि will I be able to build this business or not. That is also people see
Yeah.
able to build this business or not. Do I have that hustle or not. I think if
Yeah.
that is not there, people know कि अच्छा ठीक है आपसे पे करो ठीक है. Obviously बहुत लोगों को fund मिल जाता है, people still are able to get funds, but at the end there are a lot of criteria that are there, and then obviously you're funded.
Yeah. I think I have heard somewhere from maybe from one of the podcasts of Y Combinator that that person mentioned that investors invest in teams and not in the ideas sometimes. Because if you have a
Of
strong
course.
team, then you can make things happen, right? But if you're just
Yes,
focused on the
yes,
idea, that doesn't really, get
correct.
you somewhere.
Why Combinator specifically invests on founders and team basically? Why? Because obviously they know that there'll be pivot, and teams which
Yeah.
are strong that can actually like pivot well, or maybe like there can be times when like because most of the ideas that you start with, it like doesn't like grow with that idea. You have to change the idea in between. You have to pivot multiple times. You have to take a lot of difficult decisions. And I think if the team is right, I think it works well. And then Y Combinator has this philosophy. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you like at Codingal or Skillowit, do you think you have met some big pivot after starting? You know, when you started, things were different, and now maybe you're focusing on completely different things.
Uh, I don't think so. Like in terms of product, we didn't change much. But when we started primarily Codingal 5 years back, we wanted to build the largest uh, coding uh, online coding classes for school kids in India,
Yeah.
for Indian kids only. And then that was our pitch in YC as well when we pitched.
Okay.
Over the time, we realized that India cannot be a full market in itself. We have to pivot outside India. We have to build a global business if we have to really make a business out of it. And that's how we pivoted for 3 years of our business. Otherwise, if we would have stayed in India, we would have perished right now because the CAC, the margins are literally very low, and then obviously the competitors, like the big competitors, they were throwing money, they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
giving freebies, which we couldn't compete. We realized in first 2 years that we cannot compete with giants. The only thing we can compete with by like looking inward, changing our processes, finding out the right market for our product, which was across the globe. And thankfully, we did that like in the third year, and actually it helped us move out of that tech का जो bubble था, जो a bubble that was created. Just, I think it helped us come out of it, and we were able to create, I would say, a better business out of it.
Got it. And now the bigger chunk of revenue, does it come from India or from the US?
Uh, India is still our one of the biggest market, but second, it's more like second, third number is our North America market.
Got it. So about as we're talking about this edtech market and the bubble, lot of big I think Baiju's right. I think Baiju got bankrupt. Uh, so why do you think that was the reason? Like, do you think edtech is not very, I don't know, matured in India, or I'm not sure how to exactly put this, but what do you think what is the future of edtech? And like a lot of people I've heard that they say bad things about company like Baiju, and like maybe kind of scamming people or things like that. So where do you think we are at today in the edtech industry, and is there anything you see any difference happening right now?
See, I would say edtech or education is something that is it's must have, just like health. You
Yeah.
cannot keep education away from people. Edtech is mandatory. Edtech is important. What happened during COVID? Obviously, it was a like burst in online classes, and then people wanted to learn online, and then a lot came into picture, and then everyone started pushing the same kind of material without actually making difference. And then obviously, I think Baiju's failed not because I would still say they had the sales engine that they had. It's one of the best to build one of the largest company.
Hmm.
I would still say that they were able to do like they failed was I would say ethics, working, building
Hmm.
an ethical company where they were selling to everyone and anyone just to meet sales target. And I think that is what led their downfall. I would not say their business was they like the sales target, and then the like pushing people to make sales no matter what happens, and then taking parents like who had no means of paying. These kind of fundamental issues uh, to Baiju's downfall. And obviously bad press, bad mouthing everywhere, and obviously like it hampered us as well in some way. But frankly,
Yeah.
like when we started, we had to build something that people could trust. I don't know, like if you follow everywhere, like wherever something like if a parent even now raises issue, mails me or my co-founder, we make sure that we get on call, we make sure that we resolve the
Yeah.
issue as soon as possible, So because we want to build that trust, because at the end, education, we are building business at the end of the day, but it's an
Yeah.
education business. There should be ethics involved to it. You are for the future of the kids. So you
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
cannot do something that is wrong. Obviously, you have to build a profitable business. You have to employ people. You have to earn money, but you cannot around it. And I think what led to Baiju's downfall was not the overall business. Business was good. Thing, the tablets, the content. Obviously, it was amazing, but their whole sales, the operation, the
Mm-hmm.
business, the way the
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
was done, them down. And then obviously they had slew of acquisitions that they did during COVID. It was very high value acquisitions, and then obviously their balance sheet went on haywire because prior to COVID they were profitable company,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
after that obviously it went haywire. I think that led to a downfall of Byju's. I still believe like Byju's like was actually a changing phase because like was built from India and which was the most valued ed tech around the world. It's not an easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
We
That's true.
might say anything to any company, but yeah, I think some business processes and then value chain, if it doesn't go down well, I think, and then you expand without thinking about these things, without keeping your foundation strong, I think it leads to a downfall of the company. I think that is what, uh, like, when that is what I think led to a downfall of Byju's. And then
What
I think other
happens?
companies, huh?
Mhm. What happens to companies when they go bankrupt, right? Like, मतलब founders का क्या होता है and investor money and how exactly this process happens? Like, do you have any idea about?
Yeah, I don't have much, but normally like it's more like the money are spent. Like you don't have money, it goes bankrupt. So nothing is there. You
Mm-hmm.
pay employee whatever is left. You pay employees. You just wind down the company. Whatever is left, if there are assets or something that is good that
Mm-hmm.
sale, then some investors might get some money depending on whatever the clause they have. But I think you get down to mostly investors lose their money.
Okay. So is there like a lot of pressure when a company raises a money from investors or VCs, right? Is there a lot of pressure on founders, or it depends on the kind of investor you're raising money from, like for exit or for the returns?
Uh, I don't think so. Like if the business is going good, if you are working on your fundamentals, I don't think so. Investors put a lot of pressure. Frankly, for us, it has not been so. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so. Ki there's a lot of pressure, but obviously, like investors invest to get money, like get returns.
Yeah.
So they might say like, okay, you can do this, you can do that, but at the end, founders have to drive the business, same business, maybe a money making business, profitable business. I think should drive the whole decision.
Yeah. So I think a lot of companies in India are like the big companies, unicorn, are still service-based companies, or yeah, I think most of them are. So why do you think we are not able to build great product companies? Maybe like anything like Instagram, TikTok, Google, Tesla. Why like ChatGPT? Why we are not able to build these companies in India? Do you see
I
it
think it's
happening in
more
future as
about
well?
it's more about like if you see like I would say there's a difference like why US there are a lot of government spending on R&D, research and development. Like
Mm-hmm.
China spends close to $700 billion, if I'm correct, if I remember correct. US spends close to $300 billion. India spends close to $2 to $3 billion every year. So it's a huge
Mm.
difference. So when you
Yeah.
have to build Teslas of the world or maybe BYDs of the world, you need a backing of the government sector, manufacturing, R&D, which we don't have in India. But what we have in India is a cost arbitrage. Have people, and that's why you have more
Mm-hmm.
service-based companies. Like because like if you see like US is not able to you just cannot build a company like Zepto where you have
Yeah.
someone in 10-minute delivery where similar to what you go and buy
True.
in a
True.
shop. It will always premium because there's a cost arbitrage of the people. There are a lot of people who are there who are ready to work for like I would say normal salary, and then they would be able to do your work. It's a cost arbitrage, high human resource. Why we are not able to build the company that because it takes millions of dollars, billions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
to nobody can like we cannot build an open AI in India because it will require huge spending, like a huge investment. Who will give that investment? Billions of dollars of investment is required. No one can invest such amount of money in India right now, at least in R&D, because it requires at least 4, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years of staying maybe in stealth, building on ground
Yeah.
without like going and then coming out and then showing you, okay, this is what has been built. But we don't have that kind of money to get invested, and it can come from see it cannot come from any. I would not say any private sector or investors won't invest in such kind of companies.
Yeah. That makes sense. Is there
But
any?
still like but I would
Mhm.
still say like there are a lot of companies that are built like there's e-plane company, one of our investors like they are invested e-plane company is there. Then there's
Okay.
a Agnikul, they're making satellites. Then I saw that there's Satlio company. There are a lot of companies that are being built by investors are investing. There are some deep who are still investing in those companies. I think see it will take time, but obviously like private investors cannot parallel government at any case. Like at the end, government has to push to do something of a scale that is so happen like just by private funding. It has to provide government has to provide aids to do such things.
Got it. Yeah. Makes sense. Cool.
Yeah,
So who's your favorite actor?
favorite actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
आपको you like Bollywood or you don't like to watch
difficult.
movies that much?
No, no, I like watching movies. I think, but I would not say I have favorite actors. Like it's more like yeah, movies अच्छी लगती है. I think like टाइम के साथ like पहले तो सलमान खान पसंद था बहुत ज्यादा. But I think with time थोड़ा कम हो गया है. But I think
Yeah.
I like good movies and कोई particular I would not say like actors my favorite, but I think I like watching good movies and then उसी
आजकल
वजह से
थिएटर
like
पे अच्छी मूवीज नहीं आती ना बट
नहीं नहीं आती है आई थिंक लाइक मतलब जैसे मैं देखा क्रेजी मूवी आई डोंट नो इफ सिंस सोम साका जिसने तुम्बड़ बनाया था इज
हाँ
मेड
हाँ हाँ
क्रेजी
ओ
मूवी हाँ
या तुम
क्रेजी
बर्ड इज
क्रेजी
गुड या
बट मैं
ओ
अकेला था
क्रेजी इज
पूरा
आल्सो
थिएटर
मूवी
में हाँ
ओके
क्रेजी मैं अकेला था पूरा थिएटर में जस्ट इमेजिन बट अमेजिंग
डैम
मूवी वो सिंगल कैरेक्टर मूवी था मतलब
हाँ हाँ हाँ
लास्ट में दो कैरेक्टर और आते हैं वो अकेला बंदा पूरा मूवी खींच के लेके गया
बाप रे इज इट अ हिंदी
देखना
मूवी
मूवी
और
हाँ हिंदी हिंदी जिसने तुम्बड़ बनाया
कूल
था द सेम तो आई लाइक दीज काइंड ऑफ मूवीज एंड देन बॉलीवुड हॉलीवुड सब चलता है ऐसे हॉलीवुड मतलब हॉलीवुड में तो आई लाइक ऑब्वियसली ब्रैड पिट और अपना
हम्म
लियोनार्डो द कैप्रियो को आई थिंक लियोनार्डो कैप्रियो आई थिंक वो सही लगता है बिकॉज द काइंड ऑफ मूवीज ही मेक्स एंड देन अपना फॉरेस्ट गंप वाला टॉम हैंक्स
या आई थिंक
I think the kind of movies that they make in Hollywood it's quite different from what we have
या
in बट हाँ इंडिया में कैचअप कर रहे हैं आई थिंक लोग अच्छी सीरीज बना रहे हैं पंचायत जैसे एंड
या
मिर्जापुर टाइप इज गुड
सो आई थिंक बॉलीवुड में ना लाइक देयर आर रियली गुड मूवीज जैसे कि रणबीर कपूर मेक्स रियली गुड मूवीज जग्गा जासूस हो गया या देवर कपल ऑफ
या
मूवीज बट देन लोगों का रिस्पॉन्स ही नहीं आता लाइक तो वो एक अलग ही
हाँ
प्रॉब्लम है इंडिया में सो इवन
करेक्ट
दे
करेक्ट
वांट टू मेक अ मूवी देन बट अगर ऑडियंस वो मैच्योर ही नहीं है उसकी तो व्हाट वुड दे आल्सो डू
रणबीर कपूर कैन डू एनीथिंग यार रणबीर कपूर तो अमेजिंग है
या
सो आई थिंक हाँ अच्छे मतलब यार एक्टर्स तो हैं ही अच्छे इंडिया में भी अभी अभी जैसे विकी कौशल है विकी कौशल डज वेल
हम्म
कोई भी तरह का रोल दे दो ही इज एबल टू डू इट आई थिंक नए सेट ऑफ एक्टर्स दे आर क्वाइट गुड
बट ये आर्यन खान का नया सीरीज इट्स रियली गुड, सीरियसली आप देखना
हाँ,
कभी।
देखता हूँ।
क्रेजी।
अभी अभी मैं वही डीमन से खत्म कर रहा हूँ, फिर मैं देखूंगा। वो नेटफ्लिक्स में आ ही गया, मैं देखा।
नाइस।
बट वही है,
या
आपके
या
पास एक लिमिटेड टाइम है ना, आप वही कर सकते हो 1 घंटे,
एग्जैक्टली।
आधे 1 घंटे में।
Any founder that you admire in India, or you think you learn from someone, like it could be just by watching them online or personally. Is there anything special you learned?
Yeah, I think I would say, obviously early days, में Steve Jobs, the way Steve Jobs was able to create like Apple, I think it was amazing. And then the way he created first time, and then he was ousted from his own company, and then he came back,
Yeah.
and the kind of company that he was again able to build, it's a legacy company. I think the way he has been able to build, it's amazing. Also, one more founder that I really love, I think he was Zappos founder, Tony Hsieh. He's no more. He uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Zappos was acquired by Amazon. So he has written a
Yeah.
good book, Delivering Happiness. So it is considered that Zappos company is considered one of the best companies for customer satisfaction. They were
Mm-hmm.
the first ones who had brought that no questions asked return policy for their shoes.
Oh,
And when Amazon bought Zappos, they never changed the name of Zappos.
yeah.
Why? Because Zappos had that customer service orientation, the kind of companies. It's a very good book if you read. But the Tony Hsieh died of a tragic accident. His
Oh,
house went on fire, and uh, he died in that. So, but yeah, amazing. Like these are the founders, I think. Also, like Nike's founder. I was reading
yeah.
his book, The Shoe Dog.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
I've heard
he
about it.
also, the way he built, the way he has built his business, it's not normal business. Like building factories, like taking shoes from Japan and then selling it, and then building factories around it. The kind of business that was built, hustle, like almost losing everything, and then moving up, and then amazing, like the kind of businesses. I think again, like these kind of stories, these kind of people actually make you believe that obviously it's never easy. It's not
Yeah.
always like क्या बोलते हैं, it's not always glittery, it's all always light. There's always darkness, and then you come out of it, and then you build a larger business. Apple, Nike, or even like companies like even Amazon, I would say, has become more of a legacy company right now, along with Microsoft and all. But I think a lot of good founders are there. Yeah, Madhab, I think Steve Jobs, Tony Hsieh, these people are someone like I look into it. I've read their books, and I realized, okay, they have done really amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
I think the in India, like founders like Dipinder Goyal, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the kind of businesses that they have been able to build over a long time, it's crazy. Like we don't
I,
appreciate much, but the kind of businesses that they have been able to build, scale it up, and then now like now moving them profitably as well. It's a amazing thing to see.
I think Dipender Goyal also invested in something, aerospace company or something in that
He's
space.
trying to build his own aerospace company, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing. See,
Yeah.
now the
Yeah.
founders who have money now they can actually invest in such things. Which is a good thing at the
Exactly.
end of the day.
Even I think Benny Bansal, who he's also trying to build some AI startups. Benny
Okay.
Bansal from, yeah. So another thing, this came to my mind, like maybe as a country, if we want to grow as a country, and manufacturing, I think is one of the very important thing. I think, right. I don't, of course I'm not an expert on this, but do you think it is true? And like how do you see, like I see a lot of brands coming out of India manufacturing also, but what do you think, how should someone start or get into it, or is there a easy way, or it's better to get something from China and sell it first and then maybe build something, just like the story of you mentioned of Nike. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like most of the companies that start in India, like the first they get a product from China, because in
Yeah.
China, if you see, like if you even if you ask for one single thing, they will make a mold for that and give it to you. They will not ask you, you give me minimum order quantity. That's the difference between China and India. They have invested hugely. in their infrastructure that now, and obviously there's an attitude that they want to become the manufacturers of the world. In India
Yeah.
also, obviously, and because the government has provided that incentive for India also to do that, I think obviously, obviously the government is working on ease of doing business, but at a local level, I would still say like more states have to open up. There should be more money that should be put into manufacturing, like to set up, because setting up big factories, giga factories require a lot of money. Any
Yeah.
individual cannot do it. It's not possible without government's help. So I would still say if someone has to start something, maybe get something from China and then start something and then start building it in house. And that's what Boat has done. Boat is
Yeah.
also have moved a lot of their manufacturing to India. I think like that is what comes from news because they started
Mm-hmm.
from China and now they are saying that they build in India as well. But I think eventually it will come. Now government will also realize with tariffs and all going with
Yeah.
the problems with the US. I think India will also realize that these are important things. And obviously, like the government is talking about building semiconductors and all in India
Yeah. Yeah.
itself. I think now with a lot of things happening and geopolitical scenario changing, I think we will be looking more inward. We'll try to make ourselves more efficient. Maybe we'll have more investment in manufacturing, and then obviously we'll be able to build such kind of potential that China has. But frankly, we are almost 10, 15 years behind China, even
Yeah.
more.
Maybe more than
When it
that.
comes
Yeah.
to
They are
building
crazy.
gigafactories, the kind of
Mm.
automation, the kind of the products that they are able to build at any price point. Just to tell you an example, like I was just seeing, there's a chai wala near my office, which you had also come. So I saw
Mm.
the teacup, shishe wala chai cup. I saw
Yeah.
at the bottom it was made in China.
Damn.
Just imagine एक चाय कप जो चाइना से बिल्ड ओके बन के आ जा रहा है ट्रांसपोर्ट और सब कुछ मिला के इट इज चीपर देन समथिंग दैट इज मेड इन इंडिया इट्स सो
Damn.
क्रेजी कितना ज्यादा चीपर होगा वो कि लोग फिर भी वो खरीद रहे हैं बिकॉज इतना दिस ह्यूज आई वुड से मतलब व्हेन आई सॉ दैट आई वाज लाइक क्रेजी क्या चल के आ रहा है भाई ये चाइना से कप आ रहा है एक छोटा सा कप जो मतलब 10 रुपए का होगा 5 रुपए का मे भी कितने का होगा 10 रुपए का कप शीशे का कप so that's a
Yeah.
difference yeah matlab, the kind of cost arbitrage that China has right now the manufacturing BYD it started like if you see the electric company like
Yeah.
Tesla now they are almost equivalent to Tesla the kind of valuation that they have Xiaomi has become second largest company electric car
Yeah. Yeah.
manufacturer crazy like that is the power that they have I think in India uh, we still have a long way to go, I think,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of that. I don't know, frankly, I don't have a definite answer because obviously I'm not in that position. People who are
Mm-hmm.
maybe more mature than me can reply or maybe answer it better, but still we are long way behind.
Yeah. I've heard BYD, they have a plant that is as almost big as the San Francisco, the entire city. मतलब Tesla तो उनके पास भी नहीं है. The kind of manufacturing facility they have, it's like beyond imagination.
Crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
How do you deal with no? Would you leave India if you get a chance, by the way, to
नहीं
get
यार, नहीं.
why?
I'm not. Yeah, I think India, में if you move around, there are a lot of problems to solve. I don't think so. कि India में there's a lot of scope. Like if I move around, tech से चलो I'm still doing health tech, fintech, tier three,
Mm-hmm.
tier four cities, villages. I still see. I have these discussions with a lot of people actually. If they say कि
Mm-hmm.
if you are like given opportunity to move out, like if obviously for business opportunity, I might have to move out of compulsion. But personally, I don't feel like moving out of India because I still see like we can do a lot of things in India, lot of potential. As I said, like अभी तो start हुआ है यार, like manufacturing और ये सब
Mm-hmm.
तो बहुत चीज है भी नहीं. If suppose like if in next 5, 10 years and next 2, 3 decades, we don't know what will happen. And then I think in India we'll have a lot of problems to solve. Health, I would still say कि is a primary thing which India में बहुत ज़्यादा unresolved है. अभी भी मैं
Mm-hmm.
अपने होम टाउन धनबाद जाता हूँ. आई स्टिल सी पीपल स्ट्रगल लाइक इवन बेसिक डॉक्टर फाइंड करने में, यार अच्छे डॉक्टर.
Yeah.
मतलब नॉर्मल अगर वायरल फीवर भी हो तो ढूंढना पड़ता है कि कौन सा अच्छा डॉक्टर है, कौन से क्लिनिक में है. मतलब दो ऑब्वियसली है डॉक्टर जिनको पता है, बट अगर मैं एज एन आउटसाइड, लेकिन बैंगलोर में हूँ मैं 2.5 years से. इवन व्हेन आई केम टू बैंगलोर फर्स्ट 5 days, इफ आई सर्च ऑन गूगल की बेस्ट डॉक्टर, आई गेट गुड
Yeah.
क्लिनिक्स. Bangalore has a good infrastructure for health, like
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
Narayana clinic is there, Apollo, like all Manipal and everyone is there. But in tier city, tier 4 cities, there is still lack, and I think obviously सब कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी से सॉल्व नहीं होगा, but हाँ there'll be some. I don't know like how, but I still see a lot of gaps. Health, finance, maybe defense also can go a big way.
Yeah.
एग्रीकल्चर में तो आई थिंक स्टिल हम लोग ग्रीन रिवोल्यूशन के बाद तो बहुत सारा चीज हुआ ही नहीं है. लाइक विल हैव टू स्टिल
Mm-hmm.
गो अ लॉन्ग वे, बिकॉज 10-20 years डाउन लाइन हम तो सब फार्म्स को कन्वर्ट करके सिटी बना दे रहे हैं, तो बाद में तो खाने को कुछ
Yeah.
मिलेगा नहीं. तो फार्मिंग करने के लिए यू हैव टू बिल्ड टेक्नोलॉजी, यू हैव टू डू लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. तो ऑब्वियसली लाइक आई थिंक देयर आर लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स टू सॉल्व इन इंडिया, एंड आई थिंक आई वुड लाइक टू स्टे इन इंडिया. और ऑब्वियसली यार कहाँ तुम यूएस में जाके कपड़ा भी खुद से धो, खाना भी खुद बनाओ, राशन नहीं लाना, खुद से
ये
लेके
सही
जाओ.
पॉइंट
यहाँ
है,
दस
अभी
मिनट
अभी आप बोल रहे हो।
10 मिनट में यहाँ पर लोग मिल जाते हैं, आप घर पे आता है खाना भी जो भी चाहिए,
Hmm.
लोग रहते हैं आपके पास कुछ भी चाहिए तो. आई थिंक
Yeah. Yeah.
आई कैन नॉट लीव दैट. दिस इज लग्जरी यार एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. हम लोग सोचते नहीं है, बट इट्स लग्जरी.
Yeah. 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 You grew up in Dhanbad, right? बचपन
हाँ
आपका धनबाद
धनबाद
में था?
झारखंड.
So
या
how was it? Like
बचपन
Gangs of
कॉलेज.
Wasipur वाला scene वही हुआ था, right? In Dhanbad?
या हाँ नहीं नहीं, ऑफकोर्स वो गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर. हाँ वासेपुर इज अ रियल प्लेस, और थोड़ा
Mm-hmm.
नोटोरियस रहा है, बट हाँ लाइक सिटी वाज इन जनरल पीसफुल यार. हमारे ऐसे लोगों के लिए क्या है नॉर्मली कुछ
Yeah.
थोड़े बहुत इधर उधर होते थे, तो हर जगह का स्टोरी है बिजनेस, मतलब हर जगह कुछ ना कुछ होता रहता है. बट या आई थिंक इट वाज अ गुड लाइक बिकॉज इट वाज अ कॉस्मोपॉलिटन टाउन. सो माइनिंग
Oh,
टाउन.
is it?
माइनिंग.
Oh,
हाँ इट्स अ
okay.
माइनिंग टाउन.
Interesting.
कोयला. हाँ इट्स अ कोल बेल्ट. हाँ हाई ग्रेड
अच्छा,
कुकिंग कोल
yeah, yeah.
मिलता है, तो इट्स अ कोल बेल्ट. इट्स कोल कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया इट्स कॉल्ड. तो
Oh.
हाँ धनबाद. तो कॉस्मोपॉलिटन, हर जगह से लोग आके बसे हुए हैं, हर हर तरीके के लोग, कल्चरली डिफरेंट लोग.
Mm-hmm.
जैसे वी ग्रू अप इन अ पंजाबी मोहल्ला, तो
अच्छा,
एंड देयर वर पंजाबीज अराउंड, या गुजरातीज अराउंड. तो इट वाज वेरी कॉस्मोपॉलिटन कल्चर. तो ग्रोइंग अप में वी
interesting.
हैड सीन लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. हाँ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. एंड obviously, like Dhanbad was almost everything was there in the town. We never faced any issue. Good school.
Mm-hmm.
Even college, मेरा college IIT धनबाद भी धनबाद में ही था. तो after that धनबाद कॉलेज में भी वहीं चला गया. तो yeah, it was good growing up there.
How do you deal with difficult people, especially as a leader, as a founder, like not only employees but consumers or people in your circle, like in your relationship?
I think many times having a straightforward, honest conversation works 99% of time.
Mm-hmm.
1% of time it doesn't work. Then the best thing
Yeah,
is if someone doesn't understand, then it's okay. Like just disagree and commit, and then go ahead. That's how it is. Because see, like while in work, while you're dealing with people, while in friendship also, you'll always have difficult conversations.
yeah,
How you take it is more important. And sometimes क्या होता है कि बहुत सारा चीज मोमेंटली होता है. Like if I disagree with something, that might be for one point, but there are 10 other points that I might agree with. So for one point,
mm-hmm.
I might not say कि अरे ये खराब है, या लोग खराब है, या सिचुएशन खराब है, और the whole thing is bad. I think taking things at the face value and not extrapolating it. I think that has helped, frankly, to deal with people. And generally, I consider myself good with people. I have
Yeah,
been like talking to people, and then working with people well, and then when it comes to giving hard feedbacks also, I'm able to put it properly. I think it has been something that I've been blessed that I have that thing in me. Somehow I am able to do that. Many times, obviously, like I falter, but most of the times I am able to do that.
Got it. Yeah. Uh, what was one of the biggest, I think, learning you got while building a company? Is there anything?
Yeah, the same thing. Like building business is boring. You have to do the same thing day in and day out. It's
That's a good
boring, very
learning.
boring. हाँ, like and see many people come out ना कि seeing अरे तो founder बन गए और हर
Yeah.
दिन like I met a friend like few days back वो बोलते कि अरे हम तो बोर हो रहे हैं. I mean he just अभी एक साल हुआ है he just building a
Hmm.
something around health and he said कि अरे अब तुम बोर हो गए तुम बोले तुम बोर हो रहे हो क्योंकि तुम अब धंधा नहीं बढ़ रहा है धंधा बढ़ाओ बोर नहीं हो गए ठीक है थोड़ा मैथ उसको वही बोला कि अरे यार बोरिंग तो यही है यही बिजनेस है ऐसा नहीं है
Hmm.
दिन उठो देखो कि डैशबोर्ड कैसे चल रहा है पैसा आया कि नहीं नहीं आया कि नहीं कहाँ कस्टमर कंप्लेन कर रहा है कहाँ रिव्यू आ रहा है कहाँ पे मार्केटिंग करना है डेली का काम यही है यार अपना एंड बिजनेस बिल्ड करना बोरिंग है लाइक यू हैव टू डू ऑलमोस्ट सेम थिंग एवरी डे लाइक सेम where it gets interesting is obviously like you have to continue growing yourself while growing your business. You have to solve problems. आप हर एक स्टेज पे अलग लेवल के प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे होते हैं है ना इट्स नॉट द
Yeah.
सेम प्रॉब्लम like जब when we started Codingal the first problem was to get to first 10 customers now
Hmm.
the problem is to get to next 50,000 or 1 lakh customers the
Yeah.
scale different होता है and then वहां पे तो kick आता है ना that is where you push your limit and then obviously there are
Hmm.
multiple things you do along the way understanding the customer requirement then you add stuffs and then obviously those are interesting things that you do along the way but at the end करना तो वही है यार तुमको पैसा लाना है बिजनेस ग्रो करना है लोग को हायर करना है लोग को विजन दिखाते रहना है and then you have to continue growing do the same thing again and again every day.
Yeah. Interesting. I remember, I think, if I'm not wrong, I was the first dedicated sales person in Skillowit, right? Uh,
Yeah,
and now when I met you after like 5 years, you told me that you have a 50 salespeople, and I was really
40
happy.
है ना.
I'm like, bro, this is crazy. So how do you do
Yeah.
that? Like, I think that is कैसा रहा ये journey? Like how do you scale things? And as you mentioned, पहले I want 10 customers, then I want 50,000. And this is one of the thing I think people kind of मतलब वो when they build something they want results very quickly. But what you mentioned,
Hmm.
scale होने के लिए बहुत time लगता है. So how do these things work? How do you scale a business?
Yeah, again, like depends on business, यार कि some business are viral, like OpenAI जब launch हुआ था नवंबर में, I was reading somewhere. So first they got 1 million customers in first 5 days. In next 1 or 2 months they got 100 million customers. Now they have almost 700 million customers, like user basically.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a different virality, like Facebook or it's. But most of the business that you see, it takes a lot of hard work to actually bring customers who pay you and then come uh, come to a platform and then pay you. See, like as we grew, like we understood that we have to grow continuously, and that's how we added headcount. Where the headcount to add करना was more of a necessity. Wherever we thought कि अच्छा ठीक है अब ये grow कर रहा है, and then we have to add headcount, then we added. And yeah, like I think based on requirement, you add headcount. Obviously, you want to have as small a headcount as possible at the end of the day in a company. Why? Because you want to run an operationally efficient company. But yeah, like it's more function of how much business you want to bring, and then yeah, and then how much output you want to get from set of people that you have.
Cool. Yeah, one of the thing I wanted to mention is when I joined Skillowit, right? उस time पे I had 5-6 बैकलॉग्स थे मेरे मैंने आपको बताया भी था शायद एंड मेरा फर्स्ट इंटर्नशिप मैंने स्किलोविट के साथ किया था सो आई एम नॉट श्योर बट यू माइट नॉट अवेयर अबाउट इट बट द काइंड ऑफ impact you have made on me because you hired me. मेरे पास कॉलेज का डिग्री भी नहीं था बट स्टिल यू बिलीव कि हाँ ये बंदा कुछ ना कुछ कर लेगा उसकी वजह से मतलब एक मुझे प्लेटफॉर्म मिला एंड नाउ आई एम डूइंग मच बेटर उस टाइम से राइट सो do you realize I mean and you might be doing this with like a lot of people so I understand your job is boring but the kind of impact that you're making right it's crazy I mean uh What do you think about
No,
that?
I knew Pushpak. You told to me during your interview that you
Yeah,
have not completed. You had backlog, but I said कि ठीक है हमें सेल करना है. अगर स्मार्ट होना चाहिए बाकी तो चल जाता है मतलब काम होना चाहिए एट द एंड ऑफ द डे डिग्रीज तो आते आते रहते हैं बिकॉज सी इधर पे भी लाइक व्हेनेवर आई हैव हायर्ड आई हैव नेवर सीन की डिग्री क्या है एट द एंड इट्स द पर्सन दैट मैटर्स डिग्रीज तो experience matters degree doesn't matter which I've told earlier as well and uh, and when I said कि मेरा काम boring है, no, not my work is boring, but I
yeah,
said
yeah,
कि entrepreneurship, building business is boring.
yeah,
मेरा
yeah,
काम
yeah,
तो interesting है at the end of the day. That's why I'm able to do it for the last 10 years. But I think it's more about, again, as I said, कि it's a skill that matters the most rather than degree or pedigree of any individual. And I think like we have been doing the same thing, like in Codingal as well. We have hired people who were backlog and then they cleared the exam after they completed their like after they joined, after they interned. And I think that is how it should be. Like you should be judged by your skill. I frankly when I interview people, I see like if they are freshers, I see like how much they have done in college, like not
mm-hmm.
in academics but out of college because that is where you actually find the real uh, I would sense of skill, like what you do outside your academics. You organize event, you do something around it, and I think that should work. And I think these are real life skills. No one
Yeah,
can teach you. Like no book can teach you that. And I've also learned the same thing the hard way. Like when I was in school, I was very like I would say dumb. Like I didn't participate in
mm-hmm.
anything. If someone would say me to go on like on mic and say something to the audience, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do a class announcement as well in school. But I went to
Mm-hmm.
college. I realized like my college was very open. Like the seniors and everyone were very open. I used to organize events. I used to like do hosting on stage, and it built my confidence.
Yeah,
Apart from academics, and it helped me actually a lot. Like what I would say, like you asked me at the start, like my childhood. Like my childhood didn't shape me. My college shaped me a lot. Like growing up.
got it.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, the way it gave freedom that I could do anything. I could participate. I could actually organize events. I could post things. I could do things, a lot of things, and it gave me a lot of confidence. I would say a lot of things I do right now is a reflection of how I grew up in my college, and I think that is how it should be for everyone. It is not dependent
Yeah,
on the uh, marks were अच्छा आ गया, but on the ground, if you're not able to do anything, it will not make any sense. So that is important. Like और लोग चाहिए जो काम कर पाए at the end of the day.
yeah, 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 makes sense. So, what's like next for you? Like maybe professionally and personally, what are you looking forward to? Or is there anything else you might like goals or
Yeah, like immediately, for Codingal, obviously, like professionally for Codingal, I would want like next year we want to hit like we have set a target that by first quarter of the year, first quarter by second quarter we should hit $10 million in
Mhm.
revenue, yearly revenue. So that is the immediate goal that we have. And secondly, personally, I would see like I would like to have more time for myself personally,
Yeah.
like where I can go alone. I did that like 2, 3, 4 months back. I went to Manali all by myself and I did bike ride. So
Oh, nice.
frankly, I don't get time for myself. Like just
Mm-hmm.
for first time in 10 years, I actually didn't work for 7 days. No phone.
Oh.
I didn't see notification. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
First time in 10 years, I did that, and I love that. So I think I would want to take that time, like maybe in 6 months, getting 10 days
Mm-hmm.
just away from everything,
Yeah.
being alone. Like, you get time to reflect on yourself because sometimes when you do things, you don't reflect on yourself. You're not able to think out of the box. I would say when you are
Yeah.
not at yourself, like when you are in hustle all the time, sometimes you get like overwhelmed with whatever it is, and then you continue doing things that seems right to you.
Yeah.
I think taking out time for myself personally, away from everyone, away from work, away from family. I think that
Mm-hmm.
is what I would like to do. Again, as I said, I started like working out regularly. I would maybe take meditation, yoga sessions in coming months.
Yeah.
Those kind of things I would be doing in the coming days. That's the personal plan. Professional plan, obviously, growing Codingal as much as I can. The immediate goal is to get to $10 million. Yeah,
You've been working out these days?
yeah. Hmm.
नाइस या आई मतलब मुझे लगा आपको देख के उस टाइम पे लगा था थोड़ा बट बिकॉज उस व्हेन स्किलोवेट के टाइम पे आई थिंक यू वर नॉट वर्किंग आउट उस टाइम पे सो
Yeah, yeah,
बट नाउ
I was very,
ओ यू
very
वर
heavy. Yeah, I was very
या
heavy.
एग्जैक्टली वही
Now,
तो
like, I'm almost
नाउ
15-20 kgs lighter. I'm much
या
better.
so you like strategically worked on it like you've been going to
Yeah,
gym
yeah,
for a while now.
yeah. It's almost 1 year. But
Nice,
strategically,
nice.
I've started working on my body 2 years since last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to eat healthy most of the time. Like obviously, like
Yeah.
all the time, it doesn't happen all the time. But trying to eat healthy most of the time, having controlled diet, strict diet,
Yeah,
protein-rich
that makes
diet
sense.
wherever possible. Yeah, and then working out at least 3-4 days a week. I think that kind of routine works for me. I think mentally also it
Yeah.
helps me keep sane actually with the kind of workouts and the kind of work that we do.
Cool. Thank you so much, Satyam sir. It was really great talking to you after a long time.
Okay, Pushpa.
Thanks
Oh,
for your
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.